Welcome back to the GBGuns Armory series. It's been a while. Sorry guys. Been traveling a lot, and I have even more travel. In fact, filming a batch of these now because I'm about to be gone for, well, some more stuff. Future projects that you'll be seeing soon. I get to be back in Europe twice this summer, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, before I get into it, because it's been a while, remember, this is not the full review. The full review is already done. You should see that in the pinned comment. If you're looking for facts and figures or performance numbers, that kind of stuff, that's where you're going to see that. This is the thoughts and feels, where I give you my kind of after. I've chewed on it for a while. I've already written the article, spent some time with the gun, and it's also where I'm looking to hear from you guys. Ideally, by the time you see one of these, you've seen a bunch of reviews from journalists and influencers alike. You've maybe shot one, maybe own one, know someone who has, and are able to give us your opinion based on those things. Please let us know when you share that if it's from what you've heard or what you actually have experienced, because there can often be a difference. And as even still happens to me, sometimes I have a preconception about something and I get on the range and it's a totally different experience. So today is the Rost Martin RM1S. Rost Martin is a U.S. manufacturer. These are made in Texas, but the gun is essentially the AREX Delta minus the modular part that no one uses on the AREX Delta. They've made some changes though, and some tweaks and things that I think are positive. For one, these weigh a little bit more. One of the things that I liked and didn't like about the AREX Delta, and I think a lot of you have experienced the same thing, is it was super lightweight. So comfortable for carry. Great. Hardly there. However, physics, right? So you go to the range with a lightweight gun and it ends up being snappier. It's not unmanageable in AREX, but this has a little bit more beef in the frame somehow. Maybe a different polymer used or something like that, but it just, because on the scale it's not a huge difference, but shooting it's definitely different, and these are nicer to shoot. This S is kind of the subcompact line of it. This shorty mag is a 12 rounder. There's also an extended one so that you can get all three fingers on the gun. I haven't reviewed a lot of subcompacts over the years. I was always a compact is minimum size guy, just because I like to get my whole hand on there. And early on in my shooting times, I tried a few subcompacts and found them to be uncomfortable to shoot. They were snappy. And I couldn't get my whole hand on them, and I didn't feel comfortable shooting them because I didn't feel like I had full control. Of course, a decade later and a few hundred handguns reviewed, a few months worth of total time spent in training courses, I can shoot most handguns now. And this made me rethink about how different either this gun or I am now than I was when I first formed opinions about subcompacts, because this is a really fun and nice gun to shoot. Now, one thing they did different with the S than they did with the original is you notice there's a texture patch here. We have still that kind of suggested ledge thing without the frame getting too much wider, so it still will fit a holster. But there's more texture all around, and it's that fissure texture that really works. The trigger on this, it's nice and predictable, very, very crisp break. It was overall a very impressive gun. I really, really enjoyed this, whereas previously I had shied away from subcompacts. And I don't know, maybe it's from reviewing all the Micro 9s during that initial craze that I got accustomed to or tolerant of or learned how to shoot guns that were too small for my hand. And so moving back to something with a little more girth to be able to put a little more grip on it really made a difference and made this very comfortable. Also, you notice this hump here, I did install the larger back strap, which fits very nicely into my palm. For smaller handed shooters, a slightly thicker gun opens your hand and allows more area through here for a support hand, so you actually get better grip on the gun. It just comes down to what you're comfortable carrying. This is certainly a carryable gun. I mean, that was the whole concept of subcompacts originally. But it's also rangeable, which I find to be really nice. I wish this extra texture was on the full-size Rost Martin, though I haven't shot them side by side yet. I think I will do that in an upcoming video series. I've got plans for a pretty cool, more scientifically based side-by-side comparison video. I also have the new chunk ported Rost Martin in for review, so you guys can, I mean, that one probably won't publish for a month or two, but just because there's a lot of other stuff, but that will be coming. I'm looking forward to trying that, even though I'm not a port guy myself. There's some neat tricks in that one that are interestingly done. And with how much I enjoyed this one, I can't imagine not liking that one. Rost Martin kind of came out of nowhere and surprised us, and then there was some initial kind of question and challenge that I had to the company, but that has since been remedied. I think they're doing good things, taking the partnership with Arex to take what I thought was a good design. You guys may recall I've reviewed a few Arex Delta models and was generally impressed with them. They that extreme on lightweight certainly comes with benefits and drawbacks, and Rost Martin kind of tamed that down and made it into just a good, modern, now American firearm that's got a lot of nice features to it. I'm curious what you've heard or what you've thought about the Rost Martin R1MS, the subcompact, and what your thoughts are on subcompacts in general. Are we swinging back to that? You know, we saw the micros grow and grow and grow to like the Sig Fuse, which is effectively a full-size handgun. It's just skinny. As people jumped on the tiny things and then wanted bigger, bigger, and bigger. And so are we now at the point where we've learned that a little bit of girth, the extra width, because most micros are around 1 inch, 1.1 inch, and the classic compact subcompact is around 1.3 inches. That was one of the tricks that Sharps Bros did with their 365 grip module, was widen it out. And for me, this made a heck of a difference. It made a 365 really easy to shoot well. Of course, it also adds weight versus the original design. So, is the consumer market learning its lesson? Are we coming back full swing? Are compacts going to be the next big trend? I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I know not everyone lives and breathes this stuff as much as I do, so maybe you're not as sensitive to it or you don't care, but it's been entertaining. You got the wall behind me and the other 3 walls in this room of work that I've done over the last decade, and certainly seen trends rise and fall and then recirculate, which is kind of in like the 20-year-old ported gun that I have over on the wall from the last time that ports were a big deal. So subcompacts I think definitely have a space. With the slightly extended magazine, this is more comfortable for me to shoot, and I could definitely carry, but I've also been carrying 17 plus round magged guns before as well. I mean, handguns, they're like cars. There's so many options out there because there's so many different needs and budgets and tastes and preferences. I'm a bigger guy. I can get away with carrying a bigger gun. I wear baggier clothing generally, and I live in a cool climate where outerwear is standard, so I can comfortably get away with big guns quite often. People who live in the opposite corner of the country, they're wearing shorts and t-shirts most of the year. Maybe they can't, and a subcompact is more ideal for them. Let me know what your thoughts are, and thanks for watching.
Thank you to our Patreon supporters. GBGuns and I do 2 level. Derek S. Jr., Joseph T. Algie, Peter A. Tom Sky King.